40 police officers were injured by rioters on January 6th. Will you pardon anyone who attacked a police officer?
Well, you know, the only one that was killed was a beautiful young lady named Ashley Babbitt.
The most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate.
No, I think they heard him loud and clear. Better get done by the inaugural.
But when you say all hell will
Before
be
I
paid,
take office.
that all hell must be paid if they don't release the hostages.
Don't you?
Well-
Do I have to define it for you? Look, all
No, I know
hell
you're not
will
gonna
break out.
telegraph
If those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East. And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is.
You murdering Bill Gates! You son of a... You have blood on your hands! You have blood on your hands! You murdering son of a man! We know who you are, you son of a... Murder! Arrest Bill Gates! 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 Murder! We know who you are, you son!
If the deal isn't done before I take office, which is now going to be 2 weeks, all hell will break out in the Middle East.
How's it going, everyone? Whiskey and I just considering a little bit more about this whole Cybertruck Las Vegas incident, right? You know, let's just consider this a minute and the PSYOP and what could be the PSYOP. They got people looking all over the place, and we got to understand this, okay? The truth is, when it comes down to it, both persons, both incidents that happened, you know, the NOLA attack and the thing in Las Vegas, they stole from each other's thunder. They stole each other's thunder when it comes down to it, and that's the truth. We got to consider this. And the thing is, we got to consider it for the facts that it is. Too often we want it to be, we're not satisfied unless the answer can be what we expect it to be, right? And what we're being led to be. And sometimes being led subconsciously, we're being led into a certain direction, right? And our government will have absolutely no problem with allowing that to go on. Here's what I'm going to say, okay? When it comes down to it, the whole Cybertruck Las Vegas incident is it's a bunch of nonsense in that angle that they're trying to, it's not connected to this other guy. Yeah, there is some strange things. It is strange that he had all of this stuff to make sure they ID'd him. I don't know, there could be more to it, but is it some kind of big time secret thing? Our government, it's highly likely that they knew about the NOLA incident ahead of time, and they're just going to let it go on, right? This happens quite often, right? The thing is, to their surprise, now this guy pulls this stunt in Las Vegas, and they're just like, oh, this played right into our favor. We can use this to our advantage, okay? They know more of the facts than they're letting out. They know damn well that email is fake, okay? And I don't know if I can post up a thing or whatever, but the email is fake, okay? And the thing is, I love a good conspiracy as much as anybody, right? Digging into a conspiracy theory, right? But let's understand the difference between conspiracy theory and conspiracy fact, right? And sometimes we get caught up in this stuff, and we, you know, there's two different things. There's several things surrounding that come up odd surrounding this guy, right? This soldier. But let's understand this: he was trained to do damage. okay, to know how to do damage. And he lit off, you know, he went out and did this with some Roman candles and gasoline. Come on, no. You know, I'm just saying, it's a lot of hype in the wrong directions. Elon Musk jumped on board to cash in on it. This frickin' Sean Ryan did, and this email is fake. And our government is, you know, allowing this, you know, also. You know, they know that email is fake, but they're answering it in kind of vague ways, right? Certain things, right? Well, we haven't confirmed that completely yet, that email. They're not going to confirm it because it's fake, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, there's too often we don't want to understand the realities around us. Okay, they paint this fake world that we're into now, and all this fake ass shit going on, and everyone's fake around us, and this whole fantasy world, like we believe the outside world is something, you know. There's no big time, this dude was on the run and stuff like that, right? Sometimes things are just, if you take a step back and look at the world around you, they make perfect sense. You know, there's so many people want to act like, you know, this is some kind of hero, and that averting major catastrophe, and half the stuff that emails talk about is confirmed to be non-existent stuff. Okay, but what we're not looking at is the real truth. Okay, who do I want to interview? I'll interview the wife. Okay, if I was that Sean Ryan, I would, you know, I'm going to interview this guy that has no connection with this guy, but somehow he sent somebody he don't know an email. He didn't send that email to anybody he knew or could trust or anything else, right? Let's interview the wife, because here's where the real problem is, and what we don't want to understand. There's people that they just can't grasp it. We would rather, you know, what I'm saying is the people on the conspiracy side, I've heard this argument now on several videos that were in live streams and stuff where, well, the email, okay, so right there on the email, when it's pointed out that it's pretty obvious, there's some obvious reasons, okay, it's the errors are highlighted as if it's being written, okay, but there's people that want to defend that. Well, it could be because of this or that, and maybe they were forwarding it. It could be, but it's most likely not, okay, because we're just looking for excuses. Now they come up with what, you know, it's awful suspicious of, oh, this stuff's all adding up now because the baby isn't that there's no DNA match between the baby and the body found. So obviously it wasn't really him, and, you know, either he faked his death, you know, whatever, right? And that's not, you know, because we don't want to take into understanding what really went on there. The baby is not a DNA match because the wife was screwing around. You know, when it come out, she came forward and said, oh, well, he left because he was cheating and we were having problems because he was cheating. Maybe, but it looks like the evidence is pointing that she was cheating. Okay, so let's understand this. People can't grasp what's happening. It's really a sad story. And these two, the two incidences from that day, the New Orleans and the Vegas thing, took from each other. The New Orleans was an attack we should be concerned about and wonder what's going on there. And we're putting all our thought into, all this covered up stuff going on in Las Vegas. And it's not. It's a simple, sad story. This guy, his whole world blew up for him. You know, and there's people that can't understand it. And if you're one of those, I'll try to help you understand it. But if you're one of those, then I pray that you never have to understand these feelings. Okay? But what's going on there is this poor guy, you know, whatever. I don't know his whole life story or none of them, right? But obviously it comes back that the baby wasn't his. So the whole deal was, it is odd that it was a Tesla truck and the Trump building. Okay, that made me right away. I'm like, oh, something's going on here, right? Yeah, that's going to pull you in, but we gotta pull ourselves back and look at the realities. of what the realities are, right? Just look at the world around you. It's happening every day and we don't give a shit, right? Because if the news was to focus on this, then we have to start questioning who we are as people, right? Instead, we're all worried about the boogeyman could be popping out any time at us. We got to live in danger and fear. You know, there is a little bit of truth to that, but some of this, like this whole incident, this dude was trained to do some damage. It wasn't, okay, the Tesla didn't stop the damage, okay? It was, like I said, Roman candles and gasoline, okay? He went out with a blast. And the problem is, what it was Vegas, and maybe that hotel or whatever is either where it was significant between he and his wife, or that's where she was screwing around at, right? And conceived a baby. Okay, this is what we don't want to understand. This is my whole world, my whole reason for everything, okay? Otherwise, screw it, right? And this is his way of letting her know. I went out with a bang and letting her know. You took it all, right? It's a sad story, really, when it comes down to it. And that's what I believe is what went on here. Okay? It was, she was screwing around on him. Ended up having to see around here, they get themselves fixed so they can whoever they want and not worried about getting knocked up, so you never know, right? Maybe they need to learn that over there in Colorado or wherever he was from. I'm just saying these are some realities that we don't want to face. We hear these things and we got to put this crazy ass fantastic stories behind this stuff. Well, no. Yeah, the guy was a Green Beret. Yeah, the guy did know how to do a lot of shit and did, but was he turned? No. I mean, it is concerning he came from Fort Bragg. A lot of weird shit comes from Fort Bragg. The two things that set it off for me right away was he was from Fort Bragg and the whole Tesla and the Trump building, right? So all this came together. Well, because Fort Bragg is the original location where the CIA's MK Ultra originated from. Right? And I'm sure that's still in play. I'm sure a lot of soldiers, there's a lot of weird shit comes out of there. But also at the end of the day, we got to understand some realities. Look at the world around you and piece it together. Look at how people are treating each other. You see this happening in your own neighborhoods with people you know, people in your families, people, friends or whatever. Okay? Someone's doing somebody wrong and somebody else can't handle it because some people truly do put their whole selves into it. Right? You're my whole world. You're my everything. And without that, I'm, screw it, right? And if that's the way you did me, well, here you go. Okay, but we're not going to talk about that side of it. And the truth is, that's sadly probably what I feel is what happened. We're wasting our time, keep trying to prove that it's some big conspiracy theory behind it. At the end of the day, yeah, our government's happy to cash in on it and lead you to believe that, and to help you believe that as it comes out, instead of just squashing it right away, saying, look, here's what happened. Here's what happened. This broad was screwing around and she made this dude take himself out. Okay? Instead, we're not going to tell that. Okay? These are the stories that need to be told. Let's start fucking understanding who we are as people and what things, when we want to understand law and everything else and the basics of law. And I'm not talking about these new rules and regulations they come out with. I'm talking about the basic foundations of law. And then you take the 10 Commandments. Why did God give us the 10 Commandments? At the end of the day, it boils down to this, that we love and appreciate God as the only one true God and creator, and 2, we love and appreciate each other. Break it down. That's what all these commandments are about. You don't do this, you don't do that, because if you do this, it leads to this. It don't tell you, that's just at the end of the day. You lie, that lie ends up, somebody believes that lie, they base their life on that lie, and then boom, that lie blows up, and now their life is screwed, right? You steal, sometimes that's all somebody has. They worked hard for, at the end of the day, that's what the 10 Commandments come down to. That we love and obey God, and that we love and appreciate each other. But see, the devil ain't going to have you focusing on that. So instead, they're going to allow you to believe, oh yeah, there might be some kind of weird ass shit. There's some big deep conspiracy behind this guy. He tried to blow up the Trump building. No, he didn't. He was trained in that stuff. If he wanted to take that building out, I could have done a better job than that, okay? That wasn't his, that's not what he was up to. He was up to sending a message to the woman his whole life, right? That destroyed his whole life. Because she was, all this shit, right? Lying to him, cheating on him, all kinds of shit, right? Stealing from him, all kinds of shit. At the end of the day, he didn't fucking matter. Okay, but we're not going to tell that story. Okay? We're not allowed to focus on that stuff, on the reality of stuff. Like I said, I'm about a conspiracy as much as anyone else. But we also got to make sure we keep our minds in the right things. Okay? We got to pray for this dude's soul and move on with it and move on to the other stuff that is real. Caused by them. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate it very much. Those likes help us very much. And let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep all of his commandments. For that is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. See you.